and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, September 13, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. COI into 2020 elections fiasco officially established. Government suspends APNU AFC-IMPOSED 3% processing fee on milk dairy products. Rice farmer gives up after losing crop again due to poor drainage. Only 12.5% of population took COVID booster shots, and the PLAR mechanism to benefit thousands of skilled Guyanese without TVET certificates. Now for the news in detail. Guyana is one step closer to investigating the controversial events that followed the 2020 general and regional elections, with the swearing-in of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry at the Office of the President today. Gerald Bryan has our lead story tonight.
The swearing-in of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry took place at State House on Tuesday before Chief Magistrate Anne McLennan. Taking the oaths of office were retired Justice of Appeal Stanley John of Turks and Caicos, who will serve as chairman of the COI. Also taking their oaths were former Acting Justice of Appeal in the Eastern Caribbean, Godfrey P. Smith, and former Acting Chancellor of Guyana's Judiciary, Carl Singh. In an interview with the media afterwards, Attorney General Anil Nandalal explained that the terms of reference are already complete and will be made public. He also detailed what the government expects from the COI.
First of all, it's a promise made by the President, and the President is delivering on that promise. I believe the President, in making the promise, would have explained the rationale for the promise. Democracy is central to the rule of law. The rule of law is central to a civilized society. Development cannot take place in the absence of the rule of law and or democracy. Our democracy was under severe threat at the March 2nd, 2020 elections. We saw, the world saw, you all saw, flagrant attempts made to alter unlawfully the results of those elections.
The Attorney General noted that this must be investigated so that those responsible can be held accountable and their misdeeds exposed. Additionally, he noted that this must form part of the permanent public record. Asked about the cost of the COI, Nandalal said he was unsure at this time. However, he admitted that a COI of this nature, with the caliber of commissioners it is composed of, would not be cheap. But he said that with so much at stake, cost alone cannot determine the importance of the COI. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
The APNU AFC-imposed tax on the invoices for the importation of milk and dairy products has been removed by the government in another bid to alleviate the burdens being faced by the populace as a result of the current cost of living. Lawanda McAllister tells us more.
In a statement on Monday evening, the Agriculture Ministry stated that a decision has been taken to suspend the 3% processing fee on the invoice price for milk and dairy products with immediate effect. In February 2016, only a few months after taking office, the then Partnership for National Unity Alliance for Change government imposed a 3% fee. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, when contacted by this newscast, said the decision was taken as a move to ease the tax burden on citizens. He explained, and I quote, "Even before we came into office, we had promised the Guyanese people that we would reverse the taxes imposed on the nation by APNU. It is the importers that pay the tax, but it is passed on to the consumer." End quote. The Guyana Livestock Development Authority has been instructed to discontinue the collection of the 3% processing fee. Nevertheless, authorities have noted that all sanitary requirements for imported milk and dairy products remain enforced. In fact, Mustafa assured that with the suspension of the tax, there will be no compromise in the sanitary requirements for the importation of dairy products. Meanwhile, according to the 2022 Agriculture Investment Prospectus, Guyana spends $35 million annually to import milk. This means that for just milk alone, the invoice tax exceeded $210 million annually. Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
After suffering major losses due to poor drainage, a rice farmer from Salton, Berbice has called it quits. In this report, Andrew Carmichael tells us that the farmer has already sold one of his tractors as he walks away from an industry that has provided for him and his family for decades. Here is more.
After decades of being a farmer, Deodado Raj is calling it quits after having suffered losses over and over due to poor infrastructure in the farming community of Salton, Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine. Duraj had cultivated 95 acres and was hoping to sell his paddy to assist with recovering the losses he suffered during last year's nationwide floods. However, the main access canal at Salton is covered with huge vegetation, making drainage impossible. High intensity of continued rainfall during the month of August resulted in many rice fields being inundated when farmers needed the water to be drained off. Deoraj told the Evening News that this crop, it is now gone. He has decided to give up. The farm has already sold one of his tractors and says he will give the other one to his son. Farmers in the community say the canal which leads to the backlands. Farmers in the community say the canal which leads from the backlands to the main canal from the public road to the sluice was not cleared for some time. In fact, some say it hasn't been cleared since 2015.
As the government machine never take more time than a private machine. If a private machine come for doing work, he go down properly work. Because his private man never work him. A government machine will just cut time.
This is a tree crop, me can't get nothing because the poor drainage that the land is low. Last crop, when I come in, all the rice fall flat in the water, me can't cut them. Me try me walk back this crop, me shy them 2 times, this is a position, nothing happen. Everything just a little high place for their head, that alone will grow. Not more can go in the whole land. From 11 acre land, only about 1.5 acres grow.
The bin them every time I will pull paddy, I'm going to dam and fine. And every crop then bulk to a turnover. Who never rice seed tractor and thing on a trench. Bulk to a turnover. Last crop me turnover bulk to a 4 acre right here.
And like how much rice you lost?
A whole bulk to a paddy turnover last crop and next by turnover one is a trench. One my friend turnover one is a trench so I have paddy left in the trench. Because the dam too fine.
Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Though over 50% of the adult population has taken 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine, only 12.5% have returned for their booster doses. Find out more in this Rupa Sinarayan report.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony provided an update on the country's COVID vaccination campaign, which showed that so far, 87% of adults have taken a first dose, while 67.5% of persons are fully vaccinated. For adolescents, a first dose uptake of 48.9% and 35.9% second doses have been achieved. Vaccination for children in the 5 to 11 category shows 8,125 first doses or 8%. Booster doses represent only 12.5% of the population.
Boosters right now we are at 3,375 doses or 12.5% of those who would require a booster dose. Well, I think people ought to get boosted because I think a large group of our population would have received at least a first or a second dose. So the thing now is to ensure that people are boosted. A lot of people who are eligible for boosters have not come back to be boosted.
Recently, the Health Ministry piloted its late-night vaccination campaign in Region 4, which has generated a sizable response. The plan is to roll out this initiative in Region 6.
So late-night vaccine is something that we have started recently, and we have been seeing more people coming out in the evenings to get their vaccination. So the first week we've had from the 28th of August to the 3rd of September, we've seen an increase of 1,490 doses. And in the second week, we saw 1,603 doses. So there have been some amount of increase in this regard.
Meanwhile, since schools reopened, vaccination for the younger category has moved up by 7%. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Coming up, Mahaica businessman allegedly kidnapped, robbed at gunpoint, and PLAR mechanism to benefit thousands of skilled Guyanese without TVET certificates. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Let's celebrate Oreo's 110th birthday together with the limited edition birthday cake flavor and our promotion where you can win a wish valued up to $1 million. To participate, all you have to do is buy Oreo, drop your coupon or receipt into entry boxes, or enter online at www.everydaysnacksgy.com.
The biggest party in sport is back for the 10th year of CPL.
Let's rock and roll, gentlemen. That is magnificent.
CPL will be bigger, better, and louder than ever, with more sixes, more entertainment, and more of the world's best players.
That is simply sensational. Oh, yes.
Get your tickets now at cplt20.com or at the box office. Join the party. Experience cricket played louder.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to their ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. The Health Ministry on Monday oriented 124 healthcare professionals into a training program that focuses on clinical and technical skills. This comes on the heels of the recent announcements of the need for more healthcare providers. Luan McAllister reports.
The program will see healthcare workers being trained in both theory and practice before they are sent to work at health centers and hospitals around Guyana. Senior Health Education Officer Georgel Abrams, during her address, said that the batch will take up positions as X-ray technicians, environmental health assistants, medical laboratory technicians, and dental assistants.
These programs were designed to prepare allied healthcare providers to support those health professions that are distinct from nursing and medicine. The clinical and technical programs were designed to prepare allied healthcare providers to support the various health professions, in addition to skilled clinical and technical healthcare providers capable of delivering services to individuals, families, and groups throughout all ages, and groups of all ages throughout the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
The first few months of the program will see core learning before the students move on to specialized training for their various study areas. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, who gave the feature address, encouraged the students to seize every opportunity available to them.
When we think about the health sector, we think a lot about doctors and nurses, but without this key set of personnel, many things that we have to do in the health sector would not work. And therefore, training people in these areas is extremely vital. Now, it's even more complicated because we are rapidly expanding the health sector, so we have to also increase our training program. And while we're starting with 124 persons today, we'll need many more in the upcoming batches if we are going to fulfill the expectations of the expanding sector.
The minister also noted that the batch must also be coached on their attitude. He said most times the junior nurses are the first to respond to persons who visit the healthcare facilities, and they cannot have a foul attitude.
The arrogance sometimes of these very junior people can make that interaction with the health system a very unpleasant one. You are now entering into this area of, first of all, being trained to deliver health care. And we believe that we need to work with you so that these types of attitudes do not persist in the health system. We want you to understand that when patients come to us, they're coming in their most vulnerable time. And your attitude can either help to enhance their experience and make them have trust in the health system, or you can turn people away and they'll have very adverse comments to make.
Lawanda McAllister for the Evening News.
By signing onto a new charter, the Health Ministry will be engaging agencies and companies to promote wellness and lifestyle changes among the population. More from Rupa Sinarine.
Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony shared on the occasion of Wellness Day in the Caribbean on Monday that promoting a healthier lifestyle is a preventative measure against illnesses and health complications.
We want to do more of the preventative aspect, trying to prevent people from getting sick. And the way that we can do that is for people to embrace a different type of lifestyle. So we have to get people to eat the right things. So nutrition is very important. We have to get people to reduce their risk factors for getting sick. So things like smoking, prevention of smoking, prevention of the consumption of alcohol and other types of drugs. We want people to reduce their trans fats that they're consuming. So these are the kinds of things that the risk factors that we are hoping to reduce.
A major focal point is exercise and adequate rest every night. Holistically practicing such habits, he shared, can contribute to a healthier well-being and having a disease-free population.
There are a number of bad behaviors that we have, or bad habits that we have. They include consumption of alcohol, consumption of cigarettes. We eat the wrong foods. We have moved away from fresh, healthy foods like vegetables and so forth. We eat a lot of fast foods. We drink a lot of sugar-sweetened beverages. We want people to exercise on a regular basis. The CDC in the United States would have recommended that at least persons every day should do at least 30 minutes of exercise, vigorous exercise, which helps with keeping their cardiovascular system active. We also want to get people to sleep well. It's recommended that you should have at least 8 hours of sleep.
In Guyana, he pointed out that many persons have adopted an inactive way of living, coupled with poor choices, and the health ministry is aiming to change this trend. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
The Council for Technical, Vocational Education and Training, TVET, on Monday launched the Prior Learning Assessment Recognition, a mechanism which allows individuals to identify, document, have assessed, and gain recognition for their prior learning. Rupa Sinarain joins us again with the details.
The aim is to ensure that skilled persons are certified. The idea behind the Prior Learning Assessment Recognition was that learning takes place in different educational settings and assessed through experience outside classrooms. During the launch of this initiative, Labor Minister Joseph Hamilton delivered the feature address where he underscored the importance of a skilled and certified workforce in the development of a country.
There's a need for a wider discussion on the importance of vocational education. In this discussion, we will realize that Guyana is unprepared to robustly respond to the labor demands brought on by the development of oil and gas sector. Permit me to remind this August group that vocational education is equally important. And I hasten to say it even more important when we speak about development. You cannot discuss development and you're not developing and you're not discussing vocational education in the same breath.
Meanwhile, the director for the Council for Technical Vocational Education and Training highlighted a recent study which showed that there are thousands of Guyanese without certification. As such, he deemed the launch a milestone that will effect change and the development of human capital across the country.
One of the main expectations of the competency-based education and training, as well as the CVQ, the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, which this mode of training leads to, is that we must have a workforce that is highly skilled and highly waged. Anecdotal information tells us that there are thousands of Guyanese who ply their trade without any form of certification.
Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
Police are investigating the alleged abduction and armed robbery of 35-year-old Jagdish Mangal, a businessman of Mahaika, East Coast, Demerara, which occurred on Monday night at a popular bar located at Station Street, Kitty, Georgetown. The man was allegedly robbed of $3.6 million worth of gold and diamond jewelry by two suspects who remain at large. Reports are that the victim and suspects are known to each other and they have an ongoing dispute over a sum of money. The Evening News understands that the businessman was at the mentioned bar imbibing when the two suspects, along with a retired cop, showed up in a vehicle. The men then exited the car, approached the victim, and the two suspects began punching him about his body. The retired policeman was reportedly heard telling the suspects to take the victim away, after which the man was forced into the back seat of the vehicle. The victim further claimed that while in the vicinity of Lisinjan Road, one of the suspects pointed a gun at him and relieved him of the jewelry. The victim claimed that he was taken to the home of one of the suspects in Kitty, where he was held at gunpoint and forced to sign a note stating that he owed $900,000 to the suspect. The 35-year-old businessman was then taken to a hotel on Church Street, where he was ordered out of the vehicle by the two men. The matter was subsequently reported to the Brickdam police station. The retired policeman was arrested and is presently in custody, assisting with the investigation. And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed on Wednesday, September 14th, 2022 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Barris River Bridge is expected to be closed on Wednesday, September 14th 15th, 2022 at 6 hours 45 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Let's now take a look at the local stock exchange market complements of GASI. Fans flock box office for re-release of CPL Finals tickets, and National Stadium rehabilitation work almost complete. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Let's celebrate Oreo's 110th birthday together with the limited edition birthday cake flavor and our promotion where you can win a wish valued up to $1 million. To participate, all you have to do is buy Oreo, drop your coupon or receipt into entry boxes, or enter online at www.everydaysnacksgy.com.
With unlimited games to choose from, you can be a winner with SuperBet. Choose from our virtual sports, live betting, sports betting, live roulette, and much, much more. Place your bets at www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 18 and over. Play responsibly.
American-made Generac pressure washers from Sylvie's Variety Store gives you the power you need to blast away dirt and grime. Providing the perfect cleaning power for any tough jobs around the house or business. From 2,500 to 4,000 PSI. So get the Generac pressure washer today with all the parts and accessories available from Sylvie's Variety Store.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Let's celebrate Oreo's 110th birthday together with the limited edition birthday cake flavor and our promotion where you can win a wish valued up to $1 million. To participate, all you have to do is buy Oreo, drop your coupon or receipt into entry boxes, or enter online at www.everydaysnacksgy.com.